you know. So when I came to Ukraine, I knew that I would try to get as much information as I could about, you know, anything that would be helpful and defect across lines. The problem is when I was in Kharkov, I was going to swim across, and I found out they had snipers in position. So if anybody, and actually found out that the snipers were for defectors, not for actually protection. They were actually, anybody that tried to defect, they would shoot them, you know.
Since March 2022, John served in Ukraine's Foreign Legion and nationalist battalion Karpatska Sich. He saw and documented the Ukrainian war machine in all its ugly glory from the inside. He became part of it.
God bless Ukraine, God bless America, but you, Russia.
You, Russia. It's Russian.
Russia. Can I step on this?
Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.
It's Russia.
Russia. As time went on, you know, I had to become more nationalistic, more Nazistic, you know, doing...
Does that explain the videos where you were Putin and...
Yeah, of course. It's part of it to maintain my cover, because I got to become them. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be with them, I got to become them, you know, and doing the, you know, Hitler salute, stepping on Russian flags, everything.
Oh, yeah! Karpatska Sich, baby. Slava Ukraina. Героям слава. Slava, slava, slava. Yeah.
When I first came, I kind of expected they wouldn't be that big of a problem. Like, I kind of, you know, assumed that it was just
fascist.
Like I didn't think there was actually that many. But when I came, I was really surprised. It was everybody have, you know, tattoos and Nazi symbolism. Sometime later on my Facebook page, I had pictures of Che Guevara and the Soviet Union, and I got questioned for having communist views, and I had to think quick on my feet, you know, and I just told him, I said, hey, I'm an anti-fascist. I'm here to fight Russian imperialism and the Nazis and this and that. And they said, no, the Russians aren't the Nazis, we're the Nazis. And
who said this? Who said this?
It was just some guys from Croatia or Czech. I can't remember what they were. But
these are foreigners as well?
Foreigners, yeah, foreigners.
The proliferation and dominance of Nazi ideology, from swastikas to SS emblems, is well documented and studiously ignored by Western states and media.
And we're supporting these guys, and these are supposed to be our ally, and we want to put them in NATO with us, and they can't even follow Geneva Convention, and they're supposed to be our friends. You know, like, this would never fly in America. The United States would never stand for this. Our whole country is literally burning in front of our eyes, and we're spending $500 million for these Nazis, billions of dollars for a Nazi government. You know, so that's infuriates me, and it's time for the American people to stand up and take control of our country.
Over the year, John spent most of his time in squads with foreign mercenaries. He watched and documented names, places, crimes, and much more.
The Russian position is 3 kilometers here. Maybe in the night, one group come back in the position, they kill these pigs directly.
Tell me this, what about war crimes?
Where to start, you know? My second day in Ukraine, we were in Lvov, and we were in like a school, but we were in like the basement, and what they did is they have a group of people, Roma, but they call them gypsy, you know. And what they did is they take the refugees and put them above us and the soldiers below. That way, if they bombed a school, they'd say, look, they bombed a school full of refugees. And this is a common practice in Donetsk, Kharkov. We occupy civilian houses next to houses that people are still living in. That way, if they bomb and kill civilians, they bring in the news crew and they say, look, this house, they blew up and they killed these civilians, but what the camera doesn't show you is to the left and to the right is a house is filled with military, you know. Of course, I haven't seen this in person, thank God, but I know that a lot of captured Russian soldiers, they'll take and they'll cut the genitalia with the knives and everything, and cut their stomachs open and slit their throats, cut their heads off and stuff like this, you know. Really horrible, horrible stuff, you know.
Was this the work of nationalist extremists or just...
Yeah, just extremists and different organizations, Azov, you know, Karpatska Sich.
People you knew.
Yeah.
Did any of them...
Yeah, they were foreigners, yeah.
But did any of them take part in, you know, commit any of these crimes?
Yeah, they, I told you earlier, they had shot 3 people in the back of the head. They were foreigners. One was from Portugal, one was from France, and one was from Argentina.
They proud?
Yeah, they were proud, yeah, of course.
John put up every appearance of a good mercenary.
Oh yeah! Yeah! Love this gun. Yeah.
John came prepared. For years, he served in the U.S. military.
1st Armored Division. It was hot out there. It was at Fort Bliss, Texas.
How long were you in the military for?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Good
2 years
years
and a
or-
month. Huh?
Good years or...
No, not really. Not really. A lot of drinking, you know.
In the army?
Oh yeah, of course. Normal, standard practice, of course.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
On base?
Yeah. Cocaine, everything, weed, anything you want, you know. Prostitutes, hookers, you know, everything.
On base?
Yeah, they arrested one guy. He was a cavalry scout, and he, in his barracks room, he had like bricks of cocaine. You know, he was like
A dealer.
yeah, he was like the distributor for the whole base.
But all that training in Texas, it didn't prepare him for this.
God, that was close. We're northwest of Severodonetsk. We are getting nailed, dude. We are getting nailed bad. We just had a massive casualty event. Just in the last 30 minutes, I've had like 10 close calls today. Dude, like we are getting nailed. It's too much for me, dude. This Donbass, dude. This war, man, in general, ain't no joke, dude. People are getting ate the up left and right, but I should have went to college. I've had a lot of moments where I'm like, oh my God, this is stupid, you know, what the hell am I doing, you know? But it had to be done because, you know, the Ukrainian government and Nazis that control the government and control the population, you know, the things they're doing in Ukraine to the Russian people, they need to be talked about, you know, they need to be stopped, and we've got to fight Nazism everywhere we go, even in America.
John documented everything. It was in his phone, his head, and in the papers he brought along.
When you came over, you said you were a spy. Did you hand over, for example, like bases and stuff, at least?
Yeah,
to
of
relevant
course.
Intelligence agencies?
Of course, everything from the command structure to names, you know, weaponry, everything. And I was successful in that, you know.
More than successful. John also testified about how deep U.S. involvement in this conflict is.
There has been a U.S. Participation in the war. When I was in the International Legion, there was he was like a military intelligence officer from the Navy.
And the U.S. Navy?
Yeah, and he had, well, he was in the Foreign Legion. And he had a satellite phone and a computer provided by the CIA. And every day he would call his contacts and he would get information about the positions, troop movements, and so on and so forth. And
Do you remember his name?
yeah.
What was it?
Wait, no, what was his name? Hang on, I'm so sorry, I can't remember.
First name, at least?
I think it was like Marcus or something like that. Like, for example, they would provide like grid coordinates.
According to him, the United States feeds Ukraine the weapons and data to wage war. All that is left for Ukrainians and their foreign mercenaries to do is to point their weapons and shoot where America tells them.
Down here in the Donbass, it's been cold, wet. It's been hell, bombs, but we're finally in the truck. Say what's up, boys? Yeah! Hey!
Would you say that most of the foreigners that you came in with have left?
Yeah, most of them. Mostly some because of they realized the reality of this war, and then some were injured, and then some were killed, you know. And it's really sad about the ones that are killed, because when they get killed, if they don't get sent home, they get cremated, then they get sent home, you know.
But this is what they chose, isn't it?
Well, they chose it. I mean, they chose to come and fight for fascists. You know, they chose to come and fight for Nazis. You know what I mean? So.
And then there's the corruption. Always the corruption in Ukraine. Western taxpayers, says John, are being robbed left and right.
And then they take the insurance money, and then they put the insurance money in their pockets.
Oh,
Yeah.
is this what they do?
Yeah, they take in the insurance money too.
For foreign fighters?
Yeah. Yeah.
And was this a common practice?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'd say 90% of the families, they don't get their insurance money from, and they take in salaries too. You know, like if a soldier terminates contract, like I did with the Karpatska Sich, I terminated contract. Yeah.
Right.
They take in the last paycheck, they take in this money for themselves. But this doesn't go back into the unit. It just goes straight into the commander's pocket. And it's not just with the insurance. It's with there's a huge black market going on with Javelin rockets, the M4 rifles, and M240 Bravo machine guns, and all the weaponry coming in. They take in all these and they sell it.
Have you seen this?
Yeah. Yeah, they stole, like, when I was in the Legion, they took like 20 Javelin rockets. They took like 60 M4s and like 20 M240s.
Who took them?
The logistics sergeant major and then the battalion commander, they were both in on it and stuff. They're actually
In Karpatska Sich or?
the Legion.
Yeah,
in the Legion.
Were they Ukrainians?
Yeah, they were Ukrainians, yeah.
These weapons then disappear. Some make their way overseas into the hands of terrorists, warlords, traffickers, jihadists and criminals, all courtesy of Western taxpayers.
I noticed when I was in Ukraine, they have like a lot of military shops. And I remember one day I'm sitting there thinking, man, these helmets are really nice. You know, those almost look like the American helmets. And then what I realized is that all these helmets and body armor and these plate carriers and stuff coming in, they get stolen and then sold on the black market to these shops, and then the shop makes money off of it too.
Nothing, it seems, is taboo for Ukraine, be it open Nazi ideology, war crimes, theft, or anything else. Nothing's holy.
October 21st, we just got here. We're in Donetsk, somewhere in the Donbass. Yeah, in the Donbass, baby. And, my friend Aurelio.
Hi.
We're staying in this church for now. It's cold as heck, you know, we got some good food though, so.
I actually was watching a documentary the other day of them torturing, I can't remember, they was trying to get him to say some Ukrainian word, and he couldn't say it, so they kept torturing him and stuff like that, because it's funny to them, you know. It's a hatred, you know, they hate these people. They hate the Russian people. They want to kill them. They want to genocide them. They want to remove them from the land. And America doesn't mind giving them money for this, because they know that they can send in companies like Texaco, Chevron Mobil, Shell, and so on and so forth to extract all that oil. And then they can send in the American agricultural companies like John Deere and International to make all the money from the agricultural side of it too.
There are trillions at stake. Ukraine has already been told that it will have to repay ludicrous sums that the West spent on arms supplies. Ukraine is unlikely to ever be able to do that. What it can't pay in cash, it will have to pay in resources to Western companies. But for John, time has almost run out.
I actually had to leave because I had actually planned, before I left, I had also planned to infiltrate the Azov battalion and to gain information about their organization as well. But essentially what had happened was I was having a conversation about the war crimes being committed, and even worse than being a spy, I was compromised as a whistleblower. So, which is worse, obviously, because that means a bullet to the back of the head.
By, really?
Yes, anybody that confesses is known to about to confess war crimes, they get shot in the back of the head, you know.
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't, but a lot of people go missing, you know. A lot of people, they just go missing one day.
Including foreigners?
Including foreigners, yes.
Earlier this month, John packed everything papers, documents, maps, and so much more. Everything he had gathered over the year and made his long-planned defection.
Essentially, I fled. I went to Odessa, and I actually had to call my mom. I'm like, look, I'm in too deep. You know, these people, they're about to kill me, and I was really emotional. And luckily, my family was able to scrounge up $300 to send me so I could go to Chisinau. And then from Chisinau, once I had made contact and everything and got my visa, I went to Istanbul and then to Moscow on a plane. So.
Was you?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was nerve-wracking. I mean, I had been compromised, you know, and that meant that I was about to be executed.
The wealth of information he has provided is already being used by the Russian military and law enforcement, who have lists of war crimes and now even more names to them. There is years of work ahead. But we had one final question for John. A year, after all, is a long time.
I mean, they're going to watch this. They're going to see this.
Yeah.
The people you served with.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
All's fair in love and war, you know. It is what it is. Spies exist, you know, and I'm a spy. And mission accomplished.
What's up, boys? For the TikTok, baby. Yeah, this is awesome.
Morad Gazdiev, RT, from Moscow.